Ben in Minnesota, and we are excited to get started. We just got our products today. So
awesome. Exciting.
Erin, were you able to check out some of the tools and look at the grocery list and kind of go through day 1 through 10? And
I've been kind of following along and looking through the different things, but package is still down in the package room right now. So after this call, I'll be able to go down and get it. But yeah, it's been really great to look at the recipes and tried out the healing broth that I forget who posted that, but that's great. So yeah.
great, good.
Beautiful. I think the funnest part is just like integrating in like things that you never make normally, because we all get in our patterns, and then we like expand all these flavors and new dishes, and it just is really fun to start integrating new inspiring things into your diet. All right, who else do we have on here? Anybody else want to share anything that they've experienced, whether on this last week or a previous cleanse, if you want to offer some testimonial support? And then we're going to dive into kidney filtration in just a moment here.
So I made your Asian cucumber salad today. Oh, that dressing is amazing. Love it.
Right?
Yes.
Good.
Super good. So I start day 11 tomorrow, or 11 tomorrow. So I'm assuming it's just whole, like fruit or whatever for the snacks. No lifestyle meal type stuff.
Right. So it's suggested to do like uncooked fruits and veggies and
Okay.
keep the fats really low, just so that your bowels can clear out properly.
Okay.
When we're cleaning out like parasite or microbial waste and we have too much fat in the system, it really bogs down our digestion and the ability to sweep that out, because your liver and gallbladder can only produce so much bile at a time. So
Okay.
any slow digestion is going to slow the progress. So that's really the concept behind keeping the fats low and keeping the foods raw. But you can eat as much fruit and veggies as you need. If you decide that you need a salad, go for it. You could just top it with like fresh pico or salsa or lemon juice, a little bit of avocado, maybe a quarter, no more than a half, I would say.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And the idea behind that also is that parasites and microbes and bacteria, they really thrive in like sugary, fatty, starchy environments. So if you're eliminating those foods from your diet, they're not going to be able to survive and die off quicker. But if you're feeding them, they'll just kind of keep asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to be cautious of those cravings. Like notice if you start craving like, oh, I want bananas and avocado. They're very smart little creatures. So just watch your cravings, and if you're like, your body kind of feels like it's freaking out for starch or fat, you can tell that what's called Herxheimer is happening or die-off is happening, which means that the parasitic environment is leaving. So let that be your thing that keeps you going, your motivation.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi, you guys. This is Terry. Can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in the grocery store. Look at that. Nobody's in here. Yay. So this is like my, I don't know, 4th or 5th cleanse. And I've been experiencing severe lower back pain to the point of hardly being able, it's like, holding on to things when you're getting up and getting down. And I've had a lot of those cravings that Carrie was just talking about, which I haven't had before. So I think I'm hitting through this, doing a lot of salt baths and trying to do stretching. Walking doesn't hurt afterwards. So, I'm just kind of going day by day.
Terry, have you had a previous lower back injury in the past?
I haven't had lower back pain for probably 25 years. Long ago, my back would get sore at different times, but usually it's in my neck and in my upper back. So I'm not aware of an injury that I've had. So, and it just kind of came out of the blue. I didn't do anything where I strained it, it was just like all of a sudden my lower back started hurting. So all I can think of is that and as I asked Carrie, that it has to be related to the detox, to the explanation for it. So it's been pretty debilitating. I mean, it's been pretty hard. But, you know, if it's detox, okay.
And it's not in your kidney band region, or
No.
is it? No. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean,
It's right in the middle of my lower back.
That speaks to the level of detoxification that we're getting to. Like, a lot of this is deep cellular traumas that may be from 25 years ago. It's seeing as this is your 4th or 5th or 6th transformation. And again, it's just lymphatic sewage needing to be released and coming to the surface. So that process of pulling it out and getting it out can be painful. You just really want to make sure you're supporting your kidneys during this time and your bowels. So, you know, if there's fresh aloe at the grocery store right now, or, you know, your dark red fruits like pomegranate, cherries, watermelons, lemon, citrus, those really support your kidneys during this time. And the more you can support your kidneys, the quicker that lymphatic sewage can release. Okay. Carrie, you want to add?
Yeah, I agree. I just think she's actually on some pretty heavy herbs right now. So I think it's related to detox, you know, and how the body will actually go in a lot of times when we're detoxing and repair old damaged tissue that didn't heal properly. So it's like your body's like almost like reopening the wound and closing it better than it did before. And I had this experience a couple of times in my detox journey. Like, so one thing that happened to me was my right shoulder. I had a bicep tendon injury years ago, and that came back like full force. Like, oh my gosh, I could barely move my arm. I couldn't do chaturanga push-ups. And it was like 2 or 3 days, and then it was gone. And then I actually had my tattoos, which we know are toxic, but when I got them, I didn't know all the information I know now. That I actually had this part of my tattoo that like raised back up, like exactly on the ink line. And you could feel it and see it. It was like exactly on the ink lines, and it raised up from my skin and re-scabbed. And it was like my body was re-healing some of that trauma. And that was a second experience I have. And then the third was a physical. It was like my childhood disease was bronchitis and pneumonia. And I actually got bronchitis back, like really, really bad, for like 6 hours. It was super weird. It was like I got this really high fever. I had really thick, green, dark, gross phlegm. Like I was like, oh no, because it used to come for weeks, 2 weeks at a time. And then all of a sudden it was just gone. So it like my body brought it to the surface, it cleared it out, and then it moved forward. So some of those old lingering issues will come up, especially when we're on deep lymphatic herbs as well. And Mary Beth, I'm gonna have you take over for a moment. I have to respond to somebody trying to get into the Zoom.
Yeah, no problem. And for those of you who are just joining our cleanse group, you can find the replays of these question and answers in the topics page under question and answers. And so if we kind of dealt with last week, everybody was starting and they had a lot of questions regarding that. If you don't get all your questions answered today, go back and check out that replay as well. And we'll post every replay every week. So just want to let you know in case you can't be on the call every week. But any other, you're free to unmute and talk about your experience so far. What's going on?
I just have a quick question. I'm new, and I was wondering, having cesarean births, okay, having 3 of them, like I have like adhesions. Will that bring out pain during this detox? Because I haven't started yet. I haven't gotten my supplies yet. And I'm just curious to know, like in the cesarean births or anything, does it bring the trauma of anything like that? Pain.
It could, for sure. You know, any kind of trauma that you have and there's damaged cells, detox really goes in there. We're really regenerating the body, regenerating these cells. So it could this time, maybe not, maybe next time, you know, it's a little bit, it just depends how deep you get in there and how much cell damage there is in that area. Usually is where it starts up first, like the pain comes. Wherever there's the most self-image, you'll most likely recognize first. So just keep note, like if you are starting to experience little joint pains or something, it might be related to a past injury or a cesarean or these things. So just, that's why I like to keep a journal on these things.
Okay.
And just kind of jog my memory for if there may be some trauma existing there.
Okay, so I'll keep a journal then.
Yeah, definitely. It helps if you continue on this path and do more with us. It helps to look back at those first journals too, because you do go deeper. Like detox is a process of peeling the onion apart. Usually our first time we just get to that top layer, and then each time we're getting deeper and deeper. And so it's really nice to have those reflections to go back to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I can speak on that since I've had 2 C-sections. The first one, it took me a longer time to heal from, and then my second one, my son is 2, and when they cut me again, they were shocked at how well the scar was. They couldn't believe how just clean and everything was. There wasn't a lot of adhesion, so I didn't necessarily, when I cleansed really deep before, I didn't have the pain back, but it got better. So like Mary Beth said, everyone's different in how they experience it, but I didn't have like the trauma of like feeling that wound cut open or anything like that. So, but the scar and everything got a lot better from my first one to my second one, healed up faster and everything. So,
Well, mine's a long time ago. I'm 62.
yeah, but I had my daughter 13 years ago, and they couldn't believe how, and it took me a long time to heal from that. So my point is, as you get healthier, things just, everything gets better. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
mhm.
Yeah, the more we alkalize, the more hydrated our tissues become, the more repair that can be done. So it is amazing. Even if you have injuries, scar tissue from a long time ago, you might find the more you alkalize, that actually starts to break down that scar tissue. And even though however many years ago it was that you had kids, there's still tissue that can probably be repaired and hydrated and healed.
Okay. So, well, thank you.
Anybody else feeling inspired to just jump in? For those of you who have been on the program for about 10 days now, do you mind coming on and sharing with us if you're having any, what you're noticing, if you've noticed anything yet, if you haven't, like what, maybe a little bit of what you're going through. Those personal stories are always awesome to hear.
Hi, Rita.
Oh,
I don't hear you yet. Okay, there we go. Are you ladies together?
We are, first time.
First time in like 2 months.
I love it.
I know, it's so nice.
Beautiful. Well, I think what we'll do right now is actually what I wanted to go through today is to really talk about kidney filtration. And I know that we have a lot of those videos. If you've had a chance to watch them, the little section that says informative videos is great to go through. The videos are really short, especially the ones that are posted by Mark James Gordon, but they talk about kidney filtration and lymphatic health and all of that amazing stuff. So just like take some time to kind of review those. But today what I wanted to go through is like understanding if you have signs that your kidneys might be struggling. So I was gonna post a little survey, but I've been going at it all day and I haven't had time. But some things that would be warning signs that you might be having issues with kidneys is one, high blood pressure is kidney malfunction. So it's not really a genetic thing. Like people say like, oh, it's genetic. My dad had high blood pressure. My mom has it. Well, what they had was poor kidney function and probably a high acid-based diet that contributed to their kidney health, which is increasing their blood pressure. So one sign is high blood pressure. 2 is edema, like lots of inflammation or swelling. 3 would be puffy, like under the eyes, like having like a lot of puffy marks under the eyes is one of the facial recognition signs that your kidneys are struggling. back pain right around the like mid to low back area, especially after eating, or just kind of chronically, are signs that the kidneys are struggling. Sciatica, if that's come and gone throughout your life, is actually related to the kidneys because the nerves innervate underneath the kidney. And so when the kidney's inflamed, it actually is putting pressure on the sciatic nerve. And so you'll do all sorts of stretching and see chiropractors and spend a bunch of money trying to figure out your sciatic pain, but it's actually related to your kidney inflammation. And so those are just some of them. Frequent urination is another. Let me think. Ladies, if you have any off the top of your head. Oh, dandruff is another sign that your kidneys are struggling. So we're going to talk about filtration and what that means, but the flakes that you might be seeing in your head or on your skin, so if you have dry, itchy, flaky skin, is actually because your kidneys are not eliminating waste properly through the urine. So our skin becomes our third kidney, and that's how we eliminate waste. So all of these external signs are really good to know, and like really common symptoms, but also not normal. So I'll go in and just go ahead and explain kidney filtration really quickly, but really understanding that our body is like trillions of cells and 2 fluids. We have blood, we have lymph. The blood feeds our glands and our organs. The lymph cleans our glands and our organs. So it's like one's the kitchen, one's the bathroom. We know we have to flush the toilet all the time, or we're gonna have an overflow of waste. And so your kidneys are that flush, essentially. So the lymph brings all the waste to your kidneys, and your kidneys are supposed to bring all that waste out through your urine. And you should be able to see that in your urine. So I like to say to do a 12-hour sample. So 12 hours of no food and preferably no liquids as well, if you can. And that intermittent fasting is just really powerful for healing as well. And we'll go into that another day, another topic. But 12 hours of no food, no liquid. So like maybe 8 at night to 8 in the morning. It does not matter if you're a frequent urination person, like you have to pee 2 or 3 times during the night. We don't need to know anything about those middle pees. Like basically you're looking for the urine that's 12 hours away from the last time you consumed. And what you're looking for is if it's cloudy, if it has lots of flakes in it, if it kind of looks like a snow globe, then you know that you're filtering. And that's great. If it's crystal clear, you are not filtering. And we've got some work to do. And so part of that work is addressing through this cleanse. And you may need some deeper herbal support to kind of really get in and start pulling the kidneys clean. And any one of us practitioners, whoever brought you here, can help you with that. So that's the simplest test to see from home if your kidneys are filtering or not. The other thing that you can look for is if you have a lot of foam in your urine, then that shows that there's too much protein in the urine and too much protein in the lymphatic system. And protein is dumped by the cells into the lymph, and then the lymph is bringing that to the kidney. So it's showing that you actually have too much acidosis and too much protein waste in your body. So those are some fun things to look for. All of that is explained on the little Mark James Gordon kidney filtration video. It's like 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and he explains it really well. So in case you're having trouble reiterating this to a family member or friend, feel free to share that video with them. And that's kind of the basics of it. That's like the simplest form of understanding why we must be eliminating through our urine. And when we don't, our skin acts as the third kidney, and we'll see all sorts of skin conditions like eczema, dermatitis, dry, flaky skin, itchy skin, oily skin. Like these are all signs of kidney imbalance. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll stop talking and let people open up for questions, or if Mary Beth and Rita or Carrie want to add anything, feel free.
Carrie, I was wondering about that that filtrate, or the 12-hour sample that you were talking about. Does that still hold true even if you're drinking just, you know, lots and lots of water? You should still be seeing that same kind of cloudiness and the snow globe effect if you are filtering properly.
Let me clarify that I'm understanding your question properly. So you're saying even if you, so are you saying if you fasted 12 hours or if you drank water through those 12 hours?
I'm saying that because I'll just give a concrete example. I'm drinking, you know, in excess of a gallon of water every day, and I'm wondering if my
urine is clear because of that, all that water, or if it's clear because I'm not filtering well.
Okay, great. So your urine will be less cloudy throughout the day, which is why we have you do a sample in the morning. Because basically digestion takes about 12 hours and it can take up to 18 and up to 72 hours for meats, like sitting in your system. So, but the ideal is like after 12 hours, our body has pretty much eliminated waste. So after no consumption of anything, food or liquids, you should be seeing this filtration.
Okay.
As you wake up and you start drinking water, it's going to get clearer throughout the day. But I will tell you that I pee frequently because I eat so much water-based fruit and food. And even though it's more clear, it still has some clouds. And I don't know if that's true for you, Rita and Mary Beth now. But I'll still see cloudiness even though it's more clear in color. Is that accurate for you ladies as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And what I was going to say too, and when I first learned this information, I kept forgetting to check my urine. So what helps is to put a jar literally on the toilet. And so you check it right away in the morning. So if that helps, that helped me. I had to do that because I kept just the habit of going to the bathroom in the morning. You don't think to pee in a jar.
Thank you.
Definitely. And the neat thing, what Carrie was touching on about fruits, is that they're hydrating at the cellular level. And so even alkaline water and different things are not hydrating at that center of the cell. And so when we're eating those fruits that are like really high content of water, we're getting electrolytes with that. And so that is hydrating us at a whole different level than if we're just drinking a bunch of water, which can actually strip us of our electrolytes and different minerals. So trying to incorporate as many fresh fruits as possible is going to get the plumpness, the juiciness, the hydration factor that we're looking at that cellular level. And you will be seeing a lot of filtration as those kidneys start to filter all throughout your day, even from a very hydrated state. So
just touch on some, if you do notice that you're having some of these symptoms coming up, you know, there's different things you can do for your kidneys externally as well to kind of help them start to filter. So really expanding that kidney band. So if you have a couch or a bed that you can kind of hang off of and allow your chest to open and squeeze the kidney band, the process of getting toxins out of the body, we really want to do the squeezing and flushing process. So if you can, even dog pose, if you can get your head elevated, do some back opening, and then do the squeeze and flush with your kidneys, that can also help to start stimulating them from like an external perspective. And dry brushing as well. If you have a dry brush first thing in the morning, it's preferred on dry skin, but really like dry brushing those kidney areas, brushing them down and just stimulating more activity and energy in that area as well.
And also keeping your kidneys warm. Keeping your kidneys warm is really helpful too, because a lot of girls are into the crop tops and stuff lately. So it's nice to actually keep your kidneys warm, and that helps the function of them too, especially in the summer when we're wearing lighter clothes. Just I always wear like a tank top or something underneath just to keep them warmer.
As far as the dry goes, this is something that I've heard a lot about, but I don't actually know what that is or what that looks like. It's just a term I hear a lot.
Did you say dry brushing? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy, like if at a local health food store or whatever, they have like these coarse brushes. It's like a back scratcher, but they're very coarse. And basically what it's doing is when you brush it on your skin, and sometimes it can be painful even, so you just want to be gentle, but it really stimulates the lymphatic system. And especially if you can do it in a, like change it up to a clockwise direction, that can help stimulate it to move towards the kidneys. So doing your entire body before you take a shower is really, really good for the lymph system. And then if you take a shower, do hot and cold water repetitions. Then you're like really getting into that lymphatic system with the dry brushing and the hot and cold. you want to add on that?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just squeezing those tissues. So one of the reasons we're recommending fruits and lemons is because they're astringent. So that's squeezing the tissues so that we can cleanse anything that's not serving. The dry brush just assists this. So since our skin, kidney, and one of our largest organs of elimination, we're just assisting toxic waste to move out of the body, and working with that lymphatic system and that circulatory system also speeds up recovery and healing. So just all around beneficial.
I'm fine. I'm on a meeting. Quiet. Thank you.
Well, it's all good. And then I can talk a little bit more about some other things that you can do. Just make sure that you are muted if you're not chatting. And I don't know, you can do castor oil packing. Mary, did you mention castor oil packing? I want to make sure I'm not being redundant.
No, I didn't talk about that. That's great.
Okay. So castor oil packing is like really, really great. And it's really gentle and something that you can just do from home. And you can do this on various parts of your body. So castor oil is actually from a seed, and it's a synergistic herb, and it really binds to like inflamed tissue and just starts to pull and draw out waste. And it's beneficial for breaking apart scar tissue. It's beneficial for breaking apart or breaking down inflammatory tissue, which is where fascia builds up. So castor oil packing is incredibly beneficial. And really what it is like, I can send a little link to, you know, what it looks like on Amazon so you can view it. And then you can either get it at a local store or Amazon if you want to. But it's a thin piece of what's called flannel, but it's just like manila color, and you cover it in castor oil, which is this very sticky oil. It's like clearish yellow in color. But that's all, like an organic castor oil would be preferred. And you just put that, you can cut your felt to like whatever flannel, to whatever size you want. So like I castor oil my abdomen after my births. Just to really heal up those C-sections. I've had 3 cesarean sections, and my scars, like Carrie just worked on me the other day and was like, oh my God, your scar looks so good, because it's like so paper thin, and my body really ate up that scar tissue through alkaline living, you know, or astringent fruits, and through castor oil packing. So you can castor oil pack scar tissue areas, inflamed knees if you have knee issues. Your kidneys are great to castor oil pack. So you'll just slap that flannel covered in castor oil over your kidneys, like over your back. I like to put a piece of saran wrap on top of the little flannel piece, and then I put a heat source on, and then just lay back and either meditate, read a book, watch a movie, whatever you're doing, whatever your ritual of downtime is, that you can incorporate that level of self-care as well. And so I recommend doing that at least 3 times a week. And a little helpful tip is that the flannel, you can actually fold up and seal it in a jar with a lid and stick it in your fridge. And if it's stored in your fridge, you can keep the same piece of flannel for up to 6 months. So that's a really helpful trick that you can use for anything. Like sometimes if people have a skin condition or psoriasis or like eczema on the surface, I'll recommend castor oil packing. So in conjunction with that, like dry brushing, hot and cold showers, wringing it out with lemons and fruits and organic fruits, and then castor oil packing. Those are kind of some of our external solutions to the internal problem.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the downtime as well. So as you're moving into this 11 to 20 days, the body it really heals when you're resting more and relaxing, and the kidneys too. Sometimes they're directly related to the adrenals. So if your adrenals are on fight or flight, you're like being super active and stimulated, and it can affect the kidney filtration as well. So I highly encourage, if you're able during this days 11 through 20, to kind of take it easier. And even like sweating is really good, but not to the point where you're like exerting a ton of energy. So something like saunas or steamers where you're getting that passive sweating, and just like a lot of relaxation time, because the organs need time to rest, especially when they are cleansing and detoxing. So you might find if you're relaxing a little bit more, nurturing your kidneys a little bit more, that they might start to filter a little bit better also. You want to add anything?
questions that people posted in the group. Do you want me to just read them out loud so then we can address them here? Okay, I'm gonna go to those now. So the first one is curious how to incorporate juices. Example, watermelon juice with ginger, celery juice. I like having a big glass of celery juice with my aminos. Does that count as one of my flex foods? Question mark. If I don't want juices to make up my flex food, would or could I drink them before a meal and count that into my calories for that lifestyle meal? So it's a great question, Nicole. You can definitely incorporate juices. And I like to do that in the mornings anyhow, in the first part of the day. And watermelon ginger is one of my favorite. And I also do celery a lot. So you could just like wait a half hour between those two if you're wanting to do those. And then your aminos doesn't count as it. The celery doesn't, we don't really count the flex foods. So if you're having those foods, the flex foods are, you can have unlimited fruits and vegetables. And then if you're wanting to go deeper, you would just have, be higher on the fruit side. So we don't really count as like one specific or a certain amount of flex foods that you can have. So we don't really follow exactly what the Purium guidelines say. So you can have unlimited fruits and vegetables for sure. And then the aminos doesn't count as a flex food. I think that was your question. And if that's not clear, you can let us know. I don't know if anyone has to add to any of that. And then I can read the next question. Let's see. I thought I saw another one. Oh, here we go. I would love confirmation if it's okay to incorporate certain foods for optimal cleansing with this regimen. My specific questions are oat milk, hummus, sunflower seeds, and or sunflower butter. Lentils are okay, but not recommended during this reset. And then someone said they also weren't very clear on the guidelines. And so I like to say, take it to a level that feels good for you. And if you're coming from a standard American diet and all fruits and vegetables and stuff like that is too fast, you can slow it down with like sprouted lentils, or we just try to avoid a lot of the heavy protein stuff so we can open up our eliminative channels through the GI tract and the kidneys. But if you're wanting, something heavier, you can have that, but we're depending on what your goals are. So getting really clear on what your goals are. Sometimes you can mix a little tahini or to make a dressing, and that's fine, but we're just like limiting that when we're in a cleansing mode. And then if Carrie or Mary Beth or Rita want to add to that.
Yeah, I'll add to the kidney support too. Something that can be really hard on our kidneys is excess protein, and really heavy, hard proteins like meat and dairy and nuts and fats. They can actually put a lot more stress on the kidneys. So the beauty of the aminos is that we're getting a very accessible, easy, digestible plant-based protein that doesn't put stress on the kidneys. So part of that reason for trying to eliminate more of those high fatty foods and high protein foods is really just to give the kidneys a little break. And you don't have to worry about getting enough protein. We have the aminos. So just keep that in mind, and also supporting our kidneys.
Mm-hmm. And to add to that, we're all experiencing different phases internally and where we're coming in from this. So our body goes through natural cleansing, detoxifying phases and natural rebuilding phases. And we've incorporated that into this cleanse. It's really deeply nourishing as well as cleansing. And so if you're doing a lot of athletics or you're a nursing mama, it really depends on what your goals are. But the thing is to listen to your body. Sometimes we think we need a lot of nuts and seeds, and then we have it and our body gets tired. So if that happens, just know, okay, maybe I can cut it back a little bit, because you want to feel energized afterwards. After every meal, you should have more energy, not less. So if there's less energy, then we're using a lot of energy for digestion, and that can it's just an indicator that that may not be exactly what's serving us. And also, if you're in a real rebuilding phase, if you're rebuilding a lot of connective tissues and bones, then you can have a little bit more nuts and seeds. So you want to cater it to where you're at in your personal phase. So yeah, just listening to the body, which is what we're really working on, is just tuning into our internal cues.
Hey, can I ask a quick question about the nursing? I've literally just set up my account and downloaded the app right before the call. And so I haven't even explored the app or anything like that, but is there an area that has more specific recommendations for breastfeeding mommies? And then my other question is, right now, I'm not finding a whole lot of organic fruit at the grocery store. Of course, I prefer to buy organic, but do you guys have any tips on that? Or like if I should just completely avoid unorganic fruit and just stick to, you know, just the few things that are available right now?
Yeah, in terms of pregnant and nursing, we do have a section there. It's a short video, but basically what it is just don't like be counting any calories or anything. Like if you need to have some quinoa or these types of things to keep your calories up a little bit for the baby and nursing, that's fine, but still just really focus on incorporating a ton of fruits and veggies as well. And then in terms of like products, you know, I suggest some people have had a little bit of issue with milk reduction with the Biometic, and that's different for everyone. But I find if I stick to 1 or 2 capsules a day, I've never experienced that. So just watch that for yourself. And then in terms of the Love Meal, if you got the 30-day with the Love Meal, you just want to do the Power Shake, because the Love Meal does have some more stimulating herbs that we just want to be cautionary with. So stick to the Power Shake, just really nourish yourself. If you need to take some extra aminos, that's okay too. I actually start my day with 10 aminos being pregnant and nursing. So just really keep nourishing yourself, and taking the superfoods twice a day is absolutely doing that. And then, you know, if you need to add in some more of the sweet fruits that aren't totally recommended, like the sweet dates and the bananas and stuff, just go ahead and nourish your body with those kinds of calories versus like, you know, the really, really high fat, like processed, or, you know, you can totally be pregnant and nursing and also maintain a very whole food, plant-based diet. So if that answers that. And then in terms of non-organic fruit, I really do my very best to buy all organic fruit. But if you absolutely don't have the resources, you know, go for the thicker skinned things. Like your grapes have really thin skin, and you want to try to avoid those non-organic. But if you're, you know, consuming your melons or your citrus, those things are more protected. But it is like maybe even choose frozen organic blueberries, or if you have an opportunity to do frozen organic, I would do frozen organic versus fresh conventional personally. So if anyone else wants to add on to that.
Yeah, I can add on to that.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Okay. I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I don't know where you are, Camille. Like, what state are you in? What city are you in? Where are you coming from?
I'm in Chicago.
Okay. So yeah, we're here in Minneapolis, so Midwest. So do you have a Costco near you?
Yes, and I actually have to renew my membership, so I'm familiar with what they've got there. They've got a pretty good selection.
Huge, yeah. So like you can get organic berries. The only thing I'm not seeing right now is organic grapes, but I just found organic grapes for $3 a pound at the local co-op, so that's coming right now.
Okay.
So organic grapes are out. Organic mangoes are everywhere right now. And those are great. And then organic berries are on sale today. I just picked up little pints of berries for $2 a piece, all organic. So I bought like 10 of them. But yeah, so we're coming into this organic season. So I would say rely on Costco, because it is one of the largest organic wholesalers in the nation. And you can utilize their frozen section as well. And they have organic frozen dark cherries, organic frozen wild blueberries. They have organic frozen mangoes, peaches, pineapple, avocado chunks, all of it. And it's all certified organic. So I would utilize that, and it's only like $10 for a really big bag. So it's going to be healthy on the budget, and it's going to be a lot better inside your body. The only things that like sometimes they say, like, if you can't find an organic watermelon, not the end of the world, not great, but not the end of the world because of the thick rind, and the rind has a filtration system in it. So I would never juice that rind at all. So, you know, if you're eating an organic melon or a non-organic melon, I wouldn't put it through the juicer. If you're a juice person, I wouldn't put any of the rinds or the outsides through the juicer. And then I'm also pregnant and just finished nursing, like literally 3 weeks ago. I finally got her off. So, and I haven't had any troubles. I do 10 to 15 aminos a day in my pregnant body with working out. So when I work out, I have 15. When I don't work out, I have 10. 2 superfood shakes a day, lots and lots and lots of fruits. And then I do a grounding veggie meal at night, and every once in a while I'll add in a sweet potato with it for like endocrine system nourishment. And those are some things that, like, a sweet potato is actually probably going to be a little bit better for you than really going to like a rice or a grain. You're going to get a lot more nourishment out of like a sweet potato or some sprouted pumpkin seeds or something like that than going for something heavy and starchy to stay full. So hopefully that answers your question.
And sprouted watermelon seeds are amazing. Really, really good for baby and nursing milk.
Are you sprouting those yourself, Mary?
I have in the past, but no, I found that I can't remember the name of the company, but they like Natural Grocers. I don't know what you guys have there. It's probably not called Natural Grocers, but your bigger chain, you can buy sprouted watermelon seeds, and it's relatively non-expensive for what you're getting. And there's some of the higher protein, really easy for the kidneys to process. So, and there's the seed of the fruit. Anytime you're eating seeds, it's working on your fertility. It's working on those systems of the body. So seeds, like when you're eating your fruit, to support your belly and all of that, and just even in life, like you don't have to be nursing or pregnant to eat the seeds of fruit, but that's really good things that can have a lot of nourishment, because everything starts in the seed. So I encourage you guys to like chew up some of your seeds and eat those. It can be really healthy.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary. That's helpful. All right. Do we have any more questions in the chat that we were missing?
I think those were the questions, and I was going to clarify too, as far as like the seeds and the nuts and the grains, and the reason why we say to soak or sprout them is because they have phytic acid in them if you don't. And so this is actually a good habit and practice to get into during this and then beyond. So if you're wanting to incorporate different grains or legumes, is to soak them and kind of sprout them before you eat them, and that makes it easier to digest. And I don't recommend like trying to do this now while you're in the cleanse. It's easier to just keep things really simple and not have too much of that heavier stuff. But afterwards, I sprout lentils a lot, and I'll add them on salads, and it's just really easy to do that. And we can touch on that more if you guys are interested as we move out of this phase and go into the transition phase. But just wanted to plant that seed. So like when I give my son any nuts, I get raw ones and I soak them, and then I give him like sprouted cashews instead of just like plain cashews. And I notice a huge difference with how he responds to that and how he reacts.
Right. About 15 minutes left, and I will just say we're in my Zoom room right now, and I have a 6 p.m. yoga class, so I will be closing it right on time, probably 5:59, so I can reopen. So please speak up if you have some more questions right now. Don't be shy. This first week is such a big accomplishment, you guys. Like knowing you want to change is like one thing that can like hang out in your conscious for a long time, and then like taking the step of purchasing your kit, and now you're in it and you're doing it. And so I want to just like really honor all of you guys for showing up and taking this step, because it can be really scary to create such big change and to be vulnerable and to be open. So thank you all for being here and for trusting us. That means, it really does mean a lot to us, and it's good to see all you faces, and some of you are old clients coming back in. Hi Mary, I see you. And just like really beautiful to let us come together and support you in this way. So I just really wanted to say that from my heart to your guys, is that I know this is hard and we're all coming from a different journey, and you know, you're talking to 4 people that have been living this way for a while. So for us, it's become kind of second nature. Like, it's easy for us to go through the day on all fruit, and to somebody else, they can't even conceptualize that, you know. And so really give yourself like some encouragement and a pat on the back for the changes that you're making, and really focus on like the successes and not any of the breakdowns. So like, if you have like, oh my gosh, I slipped up, I had a bowl of rice. Okay, move forward. Tomorrow have celery juice in the morning. Clean it out. So just really try not to get tripped up on any little mistakes, and really honor yourself, practice more self-care, more self-love, and be really, really proud of yourself that you're taking something completely outside of your normal comfort zone and integrating into your life. So I just wanted to say that, and then I wanted to open it up for any questions that maybe you just feel like, I feel like maybe the information's out there, but I just need someone to tell me. So yeah, so we're here for you. So speak up, or share part of your
Carrie, I have a question. I put it on the post, but maybe you guys already talked about it before I got on here. And that was related to the vitamins that I've taken previously while I'm on this program. Am I eliminating those while I'm on this program? My vitamins, my minerals that I've taken for a long time.
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a common question. So, you know, there's a couple of things that we'll talk about, and one is isolates. So if your vitamins are coming from an isolate, which means that it's made in a lab, and Rita can speak to this as well, and so any of us can, but isolates are really hard for the body to actually identify and process, and they actually create a lot more stress on the liver and gallbladder. So if you're like taking a chemically manufactured iron, or a chemically manufactured vitamin C, our body doesn't recognize that isolate, and it actually can release what's called free radicals in our system. And so free radicals means that like we can actually be pulling out other minerals that we need to create balance in the body. And so we really just don't understand what's happening. We don't get to play with chemistry like that. And so it's basic chemistry is like when things come in a whole food source, our body knows what to do, because everything is perfect in nature. It's like designed that way. So, you know, like we actually need, you know, vitamin C to process magnesium, like all these things that you wouldn't normally know. And so I would say if any of your vitamins or supplements are isolates, I would definitely cut them out. And I would say that depending on what you're taking, you're welcome to send me over a list or something of what you're taking, making sure that you're looking at the labels. Like whenever you buy anything, it can say certified organic, it can say non-GMO, but it can still have tons of fillers in it. So look at the back of the bottle. Does it have silicon dioxide, magnesium stearate, soy isolate, gelatin capsule? Like what are all the other things in there that we're not aware of? And if it has any of those, I would say it's probably not a very clean source, and I would eliminate it. And then the third thing I would say is that this cleanse, the beauty of it is that it's not a deprivation, it's a flood of nutrition. And so this cleanse is really mineral and vitamin rich. And like everything you're eating is really mineral and vitamin rich. So most people don't need additional supplements with it. So if you struggle with like maybe low iron, then I would recommend getting like an herbal iron, but the 2 shakes a day will have 70% of your daily iron. So just kind of like looking at where you can get it from nature first, and then knowing if you still need to have that. But most of the time, we don't need them anymore.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Rita or Mary?
No, that covered it. That was beautiful.
That means I get rid of my vitamin box.
Yes. And that's nice thing. Like a lot of people say like, oh, you know, like we talk about like the expense of the superfoods, and I was like, I just think it's so cheap. Like I think the opposite, like $2.46 a serving for a shake that has 12 servings of organic fruits and vegetables and 96% of my micronutrition needs. Like that's crazy to me. I couldn't grow it that cheap if I wanted to. So, and then we always have like all these extra supplements, like we're eating fish oil or flax oil or all these, you know, these questions come around with that. And you don't need those things in your diet. And if you're looking for healthy sources of omega, you can have it through flax seeds, hemp seeds. Those have actually more omegas than fish oil, and they don't come along with the contamination of what's going on in ingesting fish and the metal toxicity, etc.
Oh. Yeah, I have a perfect example of what not to do. I just ordered something not too long ago, and it was to help me sleep, you know, so it was a magnesium, calcium, something else. And they arrived, and you have to take 8 of them before you go to sleep. And I'm like, to get even the small dosage, they must have had a ton of fillers in them. So yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I love what Carrie was saying, just getting back to those whole food sources. And we do have all the healthy omegas in your Power Shake. And if anyone is doing the Epigenius Kids, it's like our kids formulation. It has our Biomedic in it. It also has no fish in it. It has algae, which is where the fish get their DHA and EPA. So it's the plant-based source of those healthy DHA and EPA right in there. So
great.
And the only other thing I wanted to add about sometimes the benefit of taking a break with the supplements you're on is to really see what this program is doing for you. Because if you're taking a bunch of other stuff with this, it may be harder to decide like, oh, was it the Power Shake that made me feel better, or was it this? So if you take a break from what you're doing, like for one, it can give the body a little bit of a reset, because just like anything, the body gets really accustomed to things. Sometimes when you're taking something for so long, all of a sudden the body just is like used to it. So sometimes taking a little break can be beneficial to give a reboot. And then also you'll be able to notice, oh, I woke up feeling like really, really clear. And that's because of my Apothecary, not because of the other thing that I took at the same time or whatever. So that can be another benefit to giving it a little break.
Yeah, I like that.
And I wanted to answer that question about iron. So this is what I take. It's called Iron Woman, and it's an iron tonic syrup. Here's the big guy. And I only needed this while I was pregnant and nursing. My system was just requiring more support. And it's all herbs. It's yellow burdock root, rhodiola, ashwagandha, dandelion, rose hips, apricot, molasses, buckwheat berry, and urethra root. There's like so many beautiful herbs in here. It does need to be kept refrigerated. And if you're in Minneapolis, I work with a local master herbalist here, and she will make these. They do take quite a bit of love and like 4 to 8 hours to prepare. So I would say with all of her regular load, you can let me know. It's $50 for the huge bottle, and a teaspoon is a serving. So this will be helpful if you're local and want that. I can just place an order, but expect a few days of a wait for sure.
That sounds great.
You can also get a lot of stuff from like, you know, deep algae. You know, like you could order some of like the Craxel chlorella, or you can do like sea kelp, or any of that kind of stuff is going to really help bring up your iron as well and balance your mineral content and natural fat grade support as well. Power Shake clementines and watermelon. That's all somebody wants. Yeah, sounds about right. I'm craving just mangoes and berries and watermelon. Those are like the only 3 foods I want right now.
So that's another good point. If you're having good cravings like that, go with it. Like if you're craving berries, eat a lot of berries. Like it's, you know, we kind of have this thing where like, oh, I had my 2 servings of veggies or fruits for the day, but like you can sit down and eat a whole big bowl of berries, and it's awesome. Berries are super good for the adrenals. So if you're getting these healthy cravings, just go with it and just eat it till you're sick. Not sick, but until you don't want them anymore.
Yeah, and that really like ties back in, because our whole foods do have all of our nutrients that we need. And sometimes, you know, those berries are amazing for the brain, and sometimes there's something in that color, in that specific minerals that are in it that our body's just needing. And so, like Mary's saying, we're just becoming more inner intelligent. And when we're taking a lot of external supplements, sometimes that stops that ability of our inner intelligence. Instead, just tune in internally or see and look around what is inspiring you, what colors are you drawn to, what foods are you drawn to, and try shopping in that way and experimenting in that way.
And eat for the rainbow. Try to get all the colors of the rainbow into your diet.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean Skittles. I'm gonna let you ladies take over for the last 3 minutes before I just take a bathroom break. But Michelle had asked Mary if you want to quick answer her question, which was, I know you have an answer for this. It was when to take the vitamin C as she's starting. She's taking C from Nature, which is amazing. The C from Nature from Purium is all like tropical fruits that we don't really get in our diet very often, like really amazing antioxidant rich, vitamin C rich nutrients. So I'll let you answer that and I'll pop back over.
Yeah, so iron is another one of those things that needs vitamin C to absorb. So I actually really like to take my C from Nature. I take, right now with everything going on and really wanting to keep my immune system super strong, I take some in the morning with my aminos, but in general, I like to take them at night with the apothecary because cherries have a high content of iron, and if you're taking it with C, you're gonna absorb that better. So I like to mix my C with something that has iron. So if you're taking chlorophyll or the chlorella tablets, you could take the vitamin C at the same time as that. Taking the vitamin C with the power shake is also another beneficial thing. So just playing with it for yourself, but my most favorite is to really do it at night with the apothecary, because then your body, your immune system has time to like reboot and really get healthy, and the cells get breathable at night while you're resting, because most of our healing happens at night. So I also like to take a biomedic. I take one biomedic in the morning and one at night for that same reason of just flooding my body with that good nutrients right before I sleep, so that my body's able to utilize it while I'm sleeping and resting and healing.
And yeah, we do have a lot of tissue repair happening at night, and so vitamin C also really helps with that tissue repair, as does that cherry juice. So tissue repair is so crucial, rest is so crucial, and vitamin C just amplifies it.
Great.
All right, I think that kind of closes out our session this week. So if there's any questions that you had left that didn't get answered, or that you guys want to know about or that come up later, you can post any of those questions in the feed, and then we can cover them. We'll answer them throughout the week, and then next week we'll talk about another specific topic in the beginning and open up Q&A on that topic as well. So if there's anything that you're like dying to know, let us know and we'll chat about it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, you guys.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.